I'm Kaptain.
I'm Lynn.
And today we're going to review and show you a little bit how to play Blockbuster, the party game. So, Blockbuster is published by Big Potato Games, though they do not put the designer or designers anywhere that we could find. It's listed for ages 12 and up for 4 players and 4 plus players, I should say. Ages 12 and up for 4 or more players. There's not really a time listed on here, which is probably a good idea because this game can vary a lot in time.
Yeah, it depends how good the people are at guessing.
Plus, it also depends on how quickly you can pick all the different colors. We'll explain that when we're telling you how to play. So let's now. What about the 12 and up though? I think it's very dependent.
Well, there's a lot. Well, they have the classics where, I mean, unless your parents were super into showing you Gone with the Wind and Lawrence of Arabia, like how would someone younger than that know those movies? I mean, I barely know those movies.
Yeah, but that doesn't feel like an age thing. I think that feels like a very subjective thing. Some people have seen those movies and some people haven't.
Yeah.
Okay, but I could see what you're saying, that there's a far less of a chance of having seen the classics category if you're younger than 12. All right, but so let's have a look. So first off, the box looks like an old Blockbuster VHS rental case, which is hilarious. This game is very thematic in the way they put it together. When you open it up, you see a cassette tape in there, which is actually the board. It's kind of brilliant, this part. So you take the board out. Let me just show you here. You take the board, you get the post there, and we just find the base of, oh, there it is. Here we go. You take the base, you put the base through the center of the board, which on the other side, after it's VHS tape, on the other side it becomes the parking lot. You put the post in here, and you put the Blockbuster sign on the post. So this game looks amazingly thematic to what it is. It's a very, nostalgia button sort of party game where it's referencing Blockbuster Video, and for those of us who remember it, it's trying to tickle that nostalgia itch for us. We've got then we've got a buzzer which says Blockbuster on it. Now this thing is a timer actually, with 2 different ways to do the timer. Then we've got 2 different kinds of cards. You have the movie cards, which look like this, and then they have a movie on the back. So for instance, here is Die Hard. I'm going to show you one of those real quick. I'm going to put this pile here so we can do it. And then we have the head-to-head cards. So I'm just pulling off the ones we already used here. So here's how this goes. So you split into 2 teams. And when you split into the 2 teams, what you do is first you got to do a head-to-head thing. And now it says you flip it over and read it aloud and go at the same time. We found it much better to do it that when doing the head-to-head portion, to have someone else that was not in the head-to-head read it, so that you got it at an equal time. We thought that was a lot better, so that's a little bit of a suggestion from us here. So what happens is one person from each team steps up to the buzzer. And what you do is someone will read the card, and then you're going to, first person who can say something that fits the category of the card is going to hit the buzzer, and it's going to start the timer.
It has to be a movie. It has to be a movie title.
Right, it's a movie, yes. The categories are, of course, for movies. So it's going to give you something, and we're going to show you how this works, actually. We don't even have to go to the table because it's better for you to see our faces while we're doing this. So we're from 2 different teams right now. Lynn's on one team, I'm on another. Someone's going to read this card, and then we're going to quickly go back and forth. And the thing is, when the timer runs out, whose ever turn it was to think of something for that category, they lose the advantage for that round. The other team gets the advantage. So we're going to show you how that works. So I'm going to read it real quick. Movie set on the ocean. Jaws.
It didn't work.
And there we come into the first problem. So I'm going to be right back after getting this buzzer to work, but I'm going to leave this in because the buzzer is problematic. Often when you hit it, or just if it gets jostled out of the way, these have a tendency to not work. Let me see if I got the batteries. There we go. Jaws.
Waterworld.
And you can't do sequels, so I can't do Jaws 2. So another movie set on the ocean. Oh, this is a tough one. Oh man. Oh, Open Water.
Pirate Radio.
Oh, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Crap.
Pirate Radio was a good one. That was a good choice.
I know.
But now you're in trouble, huh?
I am. There aren't enough movies on the ocean.
And it took me a minute to think of that one. So now you notice we're using one finger and we're gently touching it because if you accidentally hit it too hard, often these get jostled out of the way. So let me just show that real quick. I'll do the next one. We'll do now. Again, I would have won the advantage for my team, but I'm going to do another one just to show you how this goes as we continue. Movies beginning with S. Superman.
Scary movie.
No, that starts with a P. Wow, that's weird. It's funny how you can't remember anything. Oh, Sweeney Todd.
Damn it! I was gonna use that. Song of the South.
Ooh, that's racist.
It's a movie.
It is. Swordfish.
Serendipity.
God, I can never think of it when I'm put on the spot, and then I would lose that one. Okay, so that's a gist of how it goes. So the batteries go in here. It's got a little screw-on case, and some of the times they get very easily jostled out of the way, and that is definitely a problem we have with it. So anyway, whoever gets the advantage, we'll say Lynn had the advantage because you got the advantage the second time.
There are two things around you of movies starting with S.
Oh, did I forget one?
There's Star Wars over there.
Oh
and
my
Star Trek
God!
right in front of you.
I didn't get either Star Wars or Star Trek. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, because some of the hints don't have to actually be about the movie, they can be something about the title of the movie.
I had seen two of the movies when I was a child.
All right.
So.
All right. So I'm gonna take 3, and I'm gonna give 3 to the other team. So this is how this goes. Okay. So I choose 3, and what I do is I'm gonna place 1 card each in the one word parking lot spot, the quoted parking lot spot, and the acted spot. I give the other 3 to the other team.
You're shuffling it.
Well, I'm just throwing it on the other side.
Okay.
Now for this example, Lynn's going to be on my team with me. So what's going to happen is I have to hold down the buzzer for a couple seconds till it starts going with the clock. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to have to try to do each of these categories and get my teammates, or teammate in this case, because Lynn is being my teammate, to...
guess it?
Yes, to guess it. So the one word is I can say only one word, nothing else, and it cannot be a word from the title. The quoted is I can say one quote from it, and if I don't know anything about it, I can say a fake quote. I can make up a quote that sounds like it should be about it. Like the joke one they give in the rule book is they say, if you're trying to do King Kong and you can't remember a line from King Kong, you could say, "Oh, what a big monkey that is!" Or I know he's an ape. Yeah, but that's I'm giving the example they actually give in the book, and then. In Act It, you have to mine something out, not like charades, just literally act it out. Again, can be about the movie or about the title, it's up to you. But again, you're not allowed to say anything during that. And none of them, you can never say anything from the title. So the quote or the one word cannot be sung from the title. So, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna go one word, then quote it, then act it. I'm gonna go down the line that way. So here we go. Oh, and if I run out of time, if I finish all 3 of mine before running out of time, I can try to steal some from my opponent. And again, I'm getting first because I have the advantage because I won the head-to-head round. If I miss some and my opponents finish all theirs, they can try to steal the ones I missed that are left behind. All right, so here we go. Okay. Hi-ho.
Snow White?
Yes. I'll swallow your soul.
The Exorcist?
No, I'll swallow your soul.
Oh, Evil Dead.
Yes. And...
I don't know what you're doing. It's like a high noon?
No, it's Taxi Driver. I'm doing the "Are
What?
you talking to me" thing. Are you talking to me?
Okay, if you say so.
Well, anyway. So that didn't work out. So that would go back, and then our opponents might get a chance to steal that one. So now, this is basically how this game goes. It's a very simple party game. You're trying to collect the different color cards. So in this example, we got an orange card and a purple card.
I think it's red. That's red.
Is it red?
That's red.
That's orange. It's definitely orange.
There's
What do you guys think? Is this red or orange?
because they have an actual orange.
Okay, you might be right.
Action is orange, horror is red.
Okay, red. You're right. I concede. My bad. It is red. Lynn is correct. Okay, so
I had the big box of Crayolas with the eraser on the back. Not the eraser. The
well,
Sharpie
you know,
on
you
the
didn't need a big box of Crayolas to know the red. It looks like a dark orange to me.
It doesn't.
Okay, well, I'm wrong. I've already conceded that. Now, there are 8 categories of film. And the first team to collect all 8 categories, which are 8 different colors, their team will win. So the 8 categories are comedy, horror, action, sci-fi and fantasy, drama, all-time classics, animation, and family. There is a little bit of crossover between the animation and family, mind you. Because there's definitely some family that are... I think there are some family... Did they manage to put all the animated in family?
No. I think the family ones, they are like, you know, Mary Poppins... Paddington is in family.
Okay.
I don't think there's any animated ones. Mrs. Doubtfire.
Okay, so they're family but not animated.
School of Rock.
Fair enough.
Mamma Mia. Yeah,
How's Mamma Mia family? Okay.
I don't know.
All right, so this is how the game plays. It's very simple. It's very easy to understand. But it's kind of fun. I mean, it's silly. It's a party game. It's silly fun. My biggest problem is the issues we've had with this timer.
It only works when the back is off it.
Yeah, and then, so like leaving the back on, often it has issues working. If you hit it too hard, so we had people doing the 1 finger rule, you could only touch it with 1 finger, because if you hit it too hard, often the batteries get knocked out of whack, and then it stops working. If it stops working in the middle of like a head-to-head, then after we fix it, we always just start over with a new card, which can be a pain in the butt. This is my biggest complaint. This timer is my biggest complaint about this game. We've had numerous problems with it. Basically, I don't know if we've played a game with this where we didn't have a problem with the timer.
No.
It became a problem at every game. And this upsets me because the rest of the production is kind of cool. I love this little parking lot thing with the little Blockbuster sign. I love that the box looks like a old Blockbuster VHS cassette box. The cards are cards, whatever. But the timer is definitely the downside in the production of this, because even though it looks cool, its functionality is meh. It works when it wants to. And the thing is, you can't replace this with a phone timer, because the whole thing with the timer that goes back and forth is very unique. I mean, you could replace the other part of it with a phone timer if you knew exactly how long it was. I'm not sure if it says it in the book anywhere.
You could always just time it.
Yeah, but for the head-to-head part, you can't, because that's got to go back and forth. So that's a little bit different.
Does the pressing it extend the time, or is it just count down as standard
I think it
time?
might be sort of like, it doesn't explain it in the rules, but I think it's sort of like a chess clock where you should have your own time, and when it goes back and forth, you're going off the other person's time. So I'm not really sure though. So again, because it doesn't explain it, there's not really an easy way to replace it. So this is definitely my biggest gripe. Do you have any other gripes on this game?
No.
But you agree with me on this gripe?
Yeah.
Because
I mean, and it's like an integral part of the game. So once that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, it's very problematic. So, all right. The rest of the game is what it is. It's silly fun. Which is what you want from a party game. You want silly, quick fun. It's just this is definitely the biggest problem. We've managed to have fun in spite of this, but this is definitely going to affect my rating. There's no way it can. It's too integral a component that when it doesn't work right, it has to affect the final rating. All right, so as for liking about this game, I like how far they went out of their way to make some of the parts look like things that would reference the old VHS rental days, which is very amusing to me. I like the simple, silly fun of the guessing the movie stuff and doing the quotes and the one words and stuff. Do you have any, what do you really like about it?
I like the one word in the quote it. I do not like the act it.
Do not like the acted.
It would, if it didn't have the acting part, I would have given it one more star than I'm going to, because I legitimately enjoy the one word and quote it, and then I just hate the act it. I hate charades. I just, you can see it's not like charades all you want, but it is. It's basically charades, and I hate it with a passion.
Okay, but that's a personal preference.
Yes, that's a personal preference.
Now, but we both agree that on the big gripe of this timer being a problem. All right, so you've kind of gone into what you like and don't like very in depth. Why don't you go right into the score?
I'm gonna give it a 5.
So what goes into your giving it a 5?
That I really enjoy all of it except for the act it. The act it really brings it down. I hate it.
So now here's a question. If it wasn't for, let's say first off, if it wasn't for the issues, the mechanical issues with the timer, but it still had the act it, how many stars would it have gotten?
6.
Okay, so it would have gone up a full star without this. Now, let's say this worked perfectly and it didn't have the act it. It was just like
7.
Okay. So each of those brought down a star for you. I was just curious how much they affected the final score. So now I don't mind the act it. It doesn't affect my score, but this affected my score more than yours did. I am also a 5. But if this had worked perfectly, in other words, if this had not ceased working at some point during every game we played of it, because it did, I would have given this game a 7. But as it is, I'm going to give it a 5 because this is too integral a component for when this doesn't work and it becomes a major issue and it really takes you out of the game. Like you're in the middle of doing the verses and you're the Dark Knight slam and it stops working. It takes everybody out of the game and then everybody goes, oh, not again. And that's a real problem. I mean, otherwise it would have been a really good party game. I don't know if maybe they didn't test enough of these when they came back from the factory before sending these out to be sold or what. But this is what's really bringing me down, and it's really unfortunate because the rest of it could have been fun. The actual game is a simple, fun movie trivia game, kind of trivia. I mean, more like it's a party game, but it's not really trivia because like even if you don't know anything about a movie, like my mom, we were playing this with my mom and stepdad. And my mom had this brilliant way to try to give the title of Vertigo because she was trying to do it to someone who had not seen Vertigo. And what she just did was she started acting dizzy because it was for the acting. And she was like, ooh, dizzy. And I was like, oh my God, I wasn't on her team. I'm on the other team. And I'm sitting there going, that's brilliant. I know exactly what you're trying to do. But you can do that. You can act out something for the title. So there you have it. We both gave it rather mediocre scores at a 5 and a 5. The game is fun, but yeah, this is what really brought it. This thing is what really brought it down. So I mean, we can't recommend a game where one of the main components doesn't reliably work. So we're unfortunately not going to give a recommendation to Blockbuster, the party game. And this is probably going to wind up on the coal pile at some point, I don't doubt. Which makes me sad, because I kind of just want to have it sitting on the shelf because of how cool it looks.
Once the buzzer stops working entirely.
I think it might just half work forever, but, you know. But there you have it. That is our review and tutorial for Blockbuster, the party game. If you enjoyed this review and tutorial and you'd like to see us do more like it, be sure to give it a like. Share it on all forms of social media. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Captain. That's Captain spelled with a K on YouTube. And until next time, game on.